And we're back. Thank you all for sticking around. Having some technical issues here, but we're working through it. Alright, so the crew is currently on board the ship.
Yes.
And we just had a conversation with the captain of the ship, Tendrick I, the Vargellan, that someone aboard the ship had spoken with the mouth of exaltation within the Jade Colossus, and he said, I usually try and just let my passengers keep their secrets to themselves and just insist that they don't bleed over into my business, but perhaps we might have to have a talk with this person.
Orion storms up and he's like, you need to throw these two in the brig!
Ignore him as much as you can. I would not advise talking with him, though.
A second figure approaches, a human who has surgically grafted, think like almost camera lenses over their eyes. It's a lady who steps forward and is followed by an automaton whose arms are folded up, similar to a praying mantis, right?
Prancy hands.
They're like folded up, and you can kind of see the seams of where, and it's just like hovering behind her, this weird, smooth, cylindrical, eyeless automaton. And this lady is bearing the white robes and the sigil of the Order of Truth, the Aeon priests, and she says, Did I hear mention of the mouth of exaltation? And her eyes, like, the lenses are audibly, like, focusing and refocusing.
Weird.
That's so real. I've like seen the steampunk movies where this happens.
Yes.
Wild Wild West is happening for me right now in a glorious way. Before I talk to this person, I guess, what can I... Is there a skill that's more directly insight, like judging people's
Like a
characters?
sense motive kind of thing?
You have one, don't you?
Say it
I
again.
mean, Patsy has one that's like the...
I think in general we'll just be using intellect.
Intellect, yeah,
Okay.
unless you're trained in, like, detecting lies, I think is
Right.
the terminology they use.
Okay, I'm just gonna... I will use effort to... I guess, like, not detecting lies really, but trying to get a sense of why this person is interested.
Okay.
Yeah, what's her motivation for asking
I
that
got
question?
a 14.
Nice.
Excellent.
With effort, right?
Yes.
And you use effort,
Idea.
one step of effort, and 14. Okay. Yeah, you succeed. And the person seems pretty adept at concealing their motives, but you get an impression that so Aeon priests are typically nanos, right? And so the Order of Truth is dedicated to the collecting of knowledge and to the kind of analyzing and deciphering of information in Numenera and all the different kinds of devices that they find in the world. At some point, they decided that they would call themselves a church and pretend to be almost religious because they realized that people paid more attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
So she is giving off the impression of a scholar who knows much about what she's talking about. Yeah.
Ooh, out of our league is what I'm feeling. So I will try to play it off cool.
Okay.
Is that information valuable to you?
Yeah, give me a persuasion. Well, actually, I think that's not totally, you're just talking. She says, oh, it is very much important to me, and she extends her hand to shake, and several of her fingers have been replaced with skeletal mechanical fingers, and she says, I am Candelaris, Aeon priest and one who has studied extensively nanite infections at the Dirk Hole.
At the what?
The Dirk Hole?
The Durgle.
The Durgle.
Like
The Dirk Hall.
The Dirk. H-A-L.
D-U-R.
Is there an apostrophe in it?
H-A-L. No.
Dirk
D-U-R.
Hole.
Dirk Hall.
Not Durgle.
D-U-R-K-H-A-L.
Yeah.
Dirk Hall.
Which yeah, you guys would probably recognize as basically the headquarters of the Order of Truth in the city of Ki, K-Q-I, to the far south. That's where it's, which is the biggest city in all of the Steadfast, which is kind of the civilized region that you guys inhabit. This
Okay,
is,
yeah, Key is here.
yeah, it's a massive metropolis, and it's the home of the Order of Truth, and also the Amber Pope, who is kind of the leader of the Order of Truth. And so she studied at basically the Great Library equivalent, right?
Wow. An expert in nanite infections?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Go for it, please.
And-
Be my guest.
And she says, well, someone spoke with the mouth, or looked into the eye, perhaps, or witnessed the movements of the hand. All of these things within the Jade Colossus, I theorize to be infectious to a high degree, and so I am journeying to the Amber Monolith in order to set up a base of study. But it's of dire importance that you tell me if anyone has been exposed to these foul
Absolutely.
machinations.
Those two have been exposed to the mouse by their own admission.
She looks, and you see that,
And tell me more about the eye.
and they're both kind of staring idly in your guys' direction with blank, vacant looks on their faces, and whispering, auxiliary.
Should have sent them both overboard, Joe. This is a mistake.
You could have if you wanted. And you didn't.
The automaton the automaton unfolds its arms, and a beam of basically like a laser of light flashes from its eyes and strikes both of the figures, and they drop to the ground, and there's like smoke billowing out from them, and the automaton moves forward and starts
like a physical, like, damaging laser?
yeah.
Like it just blasted both of them?
Mm-hmm. And then it is like gliding forward, and its arms outstretched, and is basically like picking them up, and she's like moving excitedly towards.
I turn towards Joe and I'm like, you wish I had kicked him off now? And what are they doing now? They're moving towards us?
The two figures like drop to the ground, right? The two whisper
Infected
potentials, and so this automaton like basically just kind of picked them up with its hands and is like holding them, and she's studying them, and the captain is like still kind of doing his thing, like he's trying to make sure that the ship is navigating, but he keeps glancing with like one of his swiveling eyes in your guys' direction, trying to like keep an eye on what's going on here.
Literally.
Hard to read the figure's expression, because Vargellan just always seems so stoic.
Like fish faces.
Fish, yeah.
Expression.
Sorry, I can't help
I grab Orion's arm and I get close and I whisper, staring hard at him, do not draw any more attention to us than you already have. You heard her say she believes the eye has infectious abilities too. That could be us.
This is bullshit. I'm going downstairs. Is there like an underdeck to this boat?
Yeah.
I'm essentially agreeing to do what you're saying, but I'm just storming off and going down and pouting in the underdeck of this ship.
The underdeck of this ship. Imagine a space.
I have a different sound for that.
Imagine
Down below.
a spacefaring vessel that someone has basically pulled open all of the panels of and has totally scavenged, the equivalent of like stealing all the copper pipe from a house, right? This inside of this vessel, like all the mechanisms have been ripped out of it, and it's been completely stripped of anything of use, and now it's just this weird like spaceship shell, right? And many of the panels where like different mechanisms worked are now like very small bunks that people sleep in and whatnot. The inside of the hull smells of spices and various other strange scents of the cargo being transported.
Spice must flow. I'm not trying to do anything in particular.
Are you following him? The captain leans over to you and is like, if this were anybody else, I'd have them thrown off this ship for such behavior, but I can't make enemies with the Amber Pope.
Oh, I'm gonna say from my behavior?
Yeah, I was worried
Oh,
too.
no.
Yeah, cold sweat, right?
Yeah.
And then Joe's like, oh yeah.
Storming off in
Right.
Yeah.
Candelaris, obviously.
the flank. Amber Pope.
It certainly makes things interesting. Where are they staying?
On the ship with you guys.
There's one room where all of us.
Oh no, I mean there's different.
Okay,
there's
yeah,
different
no,
rooms.
I'm asking the captain right now. Where is?
Oh,
their
what
cabin?
room? Yeah. He's like, fore aft.
Okay, where are we? how close are we? Because
Which deck, Keith?
I don't know. I don't have a map. I need a map.
I just need to know that we're far away from them, and especially that our cargo is far away from them.
Well, perhaps I could roll a yes no. Yes no. Actually, I think I've got a. Let's try something.
Yay.
Who in the audience wants to decide how close they are? Are they close or are they far? No. That's not the thing. There we go. Type raffle to join.
Raffle. They're already
in the room.
Kirby!
Oh, chat golem.
Thanks, Chat Gollum, for
actually showing up
this week. Yeah.
That was the weird thing that happened the last week is the chat golem failed to connect and we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, but we couldn't see that it hadn't connected.
Golem's
Just
always
bizarre.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, no joke.
Tell me about it.
I put another enchantment on it.
We'll leave that open for a second and get a result when we have more than one vote. But exclamation point raffle.
I'll follow Orion to make sure he's not like anger walking down here to kick shit.
Causing trouble. Yeah.
You find Orion sitting next to the battery and whatever in the cargo area, kind of protecting it. But actually, he's just sitting there with this blob of clay.
Oh god.
My oddity. Sitting on the like crate or whatever that we got this battery in, and it's sculpted into this incredible thing, and he's just kind of sitting there like pouting and sulking. And
All of Orion's emotions that he's unable to articulate are depicted in this clay sculpture.
But actually not by his own volition.
No.
The blob of clay takes on various forms when left alone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think he's pulled it out, and it's like in this cool weird elephant or something, and he's setting it there, and he's just like thinking.
And then the elephant grows an extra ear and an extra tusk, and then they all form back together.
Yeah, when left alone.
Joe, you recognize the scent on the ship of many spices, certainly. Also, the scent of the midnight stones. It seems like you're not the only people transporting them, though probably
cool.
yours is definitely the biggest.
Not to brag.
Yeah, not to brag or anything, but you also catch the unmistakable scent that brings you back home to the hell place of Hidden Naresh that you grew up, and the drug that is.
No, the Mycos.
Yes, the mycos, the mushrooms.
I don't know what that is.
Gross. I'm not about to tell you.
That's fun.
It's mushroom drugs, just like it sounds like.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm sure there are some wealthy capitalists that get into that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
It's cocaine.
Etsy flashes too.
It's
Like mushroom, and
yeah.
Yeah, but what's the drug equivalent in this setting?
I don't.
I'm pretty sure it's psychedelic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Psychedelic to the extent that like people will end up wading into the mushroom body and just like becoming one with the main mycos.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah. It's not fun psychedelics.
Mhm.
But it's highly illegal, but also like it grows near Hidden Naresh, so it's like that's what they sell, you know, but it's always like a smuggling operation to move it around, right?
Cool.
Because there's always got to be stakes.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to tie the throw up and put a cloak on. 'Cause I don't need to recognize anyone here.
Yeah.
And then I will sit down on the opposite side of our loot and do exactly what Orion's doing. I'm going to.
Are you like looking at me?
Yes, I'm glaring straight at you.
Oh, man, I just really want to rest. I mean, you know, I'm trying to remember the fact that my character is like kind of beat to shit, and it's
Yeah.
hardly like rested in a while.
What rest are you on?
Well, I actually, I've taken my one action rest, but I have another one action rest because I never say die. And then an hour, so I could at least do two rests, and that would get me up to like the 10-hour.
Freya is our decider.
Oh, congrats.
Tell us, Freya, how close is there room to the room of
Is it
Catalyst.
is it next to it or is it far away? I guess is the question.
Yeah.
Is it really nearby or is it? Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and rest now while we're figuring that
Yeah,
out.
let's do it.
So I think I'm gonna do 2 rests.
I will. Yeah, will that be an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially.
let's do it.
And I add +4 to my d6.
Why? Never say die?
I took a
During your level up.
during my
thingy?
level up. I
Okay.
took the thing to increase that by that much.
Sick rolls. 5. You get to roll twice, don't you?
I do.
That's gonna be more.
While you guys are resting, there comes you're in a pretty cramped quarters. You guys are kind of sharing the same bed and sleeping, you know, head to feet. But a knock comes on the door. Really, it's a panel. You guys are in some kind of little nook where machinery used to live, and a knock comes on your panel.
Ching, ching, ching. Orion snaps up and stands up and like opens the door. Is there a door?
Yeah, it's like a little hatch. One of the slouchy hired guards that was hired, that you guys know as just being like the people who would stand around on deck to make sure trouble is not going down, is standing there, and he's like, "I've been told by the captain that no one's to leave the ship. There's possible infection aboard."
Orion turns around and just shoots darts out of his eyes. I'm sorry, I'm being an ass.
No, I mean, I think that's all Joe and Orion have got going on right now. Imagine if we had cash to break the tension.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I feel like normally Joe's the one who's breaking the tension.
But Joe has some things about Orion right now. She goes, "You're shooting daggers at me." I roll my eyes at you.
Perfect.
Understood.
Great. I'm gonna ask the guy, is this a nanite infection? Like the doctor or the scholar was...
Yeah, she's certainly the one running this show.
It seems like she's doing a shit job of it.
I couldn't agree more, but I just do as I'm told by the man who pays me. Or by the creature who pays me.
Okay, do you want to do anything about this?
Joe would not do anything while the guard was there.
Well, yeah, of course.
So I would wait for the guard. We were like, yeah, sure, okay, we got it.
Well.
Here we are, sitting ducks.
Yeah.
With the nanite infection, because not leaving the ship sounds like a great approach to that.
The ship's still definitely moving. Well, he says, well, carry on then. And let's go of the panel, and it swings back shut
Yeah,
with a
you
clatter.
too.
And you hear him tromping down the mesh floor to the next room.
Does this thing that we're in have any windows? This room? Is there any way to see outside?
See, we need all the decisions here. Let me get my yes no dice, guys.
See, I need traveling between these pits.
Called it.
And Daniel, I'll get you in on in a second. Sorry.
Take your time.
Yes, there is a window.
Oh,
Do you have windows?
Alright,
But they are tinted in such a way, like a welding hood, that at night it's impossible to see out of, but during the day.
And is it night?
No,
Okay, it's day.
I think it's the next morning. Yeah.
Oh, is it the next morning? So we took our 10-hour sleep rest as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I should have.
Yeah,
I should be keeping
I
that
like
in mind.
that idea.
You guys have rested up. Ooh,
Oh, finally, Orion is actually not fully rested yet still,
At last,
but I'm close.
my arm is complete.
It's been days since I've actually just been to full hit points.
been fully rested.
Yep, I'm too shy, but it's been a long time.
I'm also too shy.
Okay, so it's daytime,
Yeah.
and we're seeing like the pack beasts outside pulling.
Yep.
Any concept at all of where we are? We slept overnight, so it's been at least 10 hours.
Let me pull up.
Are there any like landmarks or anything that we can identify?
Let me pull up the map here. So you guys left the Ballarat the day before. I'll say that you're at about this bend at the moment. So the first bend for the audience, just after the woods, a little bit to the south of the Tithe River they're at. So on your side of the ship, I'll say you guys are on the left. The window's facing the left side of the ship, so you're looking kind of southeastern right now.
Port side.
The port side. Thank you. The port side. So you're looking like a little bit southeastern, and you can see looming on the horizon the amber monolith, which I meant to get a picture of on the stream, but for those who are here can see it's on the cover of the book. The amber monolith. So it is a giant stone of amber that is floating. I have a note here, so let me not.
I've been wondering if there's any
Just a great image.
It's about 500 feet off the ground, and it's some 2,000 feet tall. It's a massive, just piece of amber stone
If it's gonna focus, but
with a ring kind of towards the bottom quarter of it that is like spinning around it and kind of suspended by nothing whatsoever, and is like slowly kind of tilting back and forth, and is just floating there. So you see that on the horizon.
so
And that is the place that the priest said that she was going. That she was going to the Amber Monolith to continue her studies.
okay, and how far away is that? Is it like another day's travel still?
Seems like you'd get there by nightfall.
Okay.
If anybody's paying really close attention to the scale,
the Amber Monolith
it's
is
probably
there.
not correct. But whatever.
No,
They're moving rapidly.
I just didn't. For some reason, I was thinking the Amber Monolith was closer to the Westwood, but no, it's right there.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and she said that that's where she's going,
Yep.
so they'll be getting off soon.
And you can see the pack beasts on the outside of the ship with this huge chain, several like groups of like 5 or 10 of them, and there's a chain moving to them and then attached to kind of like a yoke that they're pulling, and you can see kind of herds, like one herdsman to each little group that's down there, kind of making sure that it's all going right.
What do you think, Joe? Should we wait it out, or should we get the hell off this ship?
Give me just a sec. I'll be right back. I'm going to glimpse into the outside.
Yes.
Excellent.
So this is my tier 2 steps into the outside power, where I basically, I feel for all of my siblings watching at home, it's like Garnet's future vision. I get to see
Excellent.
multiple realities, like all of the potential outcomes
possible,
of
yeah.
a certain action, like all of the different choices we could make. I can see all those outcomes. In mechanical terms, it gives us an asset on a task that's related.
Cool.
So I guess I want to see the futures for, like, if we stay. Should I stay or should I go?
As in, like, stay on this
Should I stay on the ship? Should we try to get off? If we stay, like, yes, absolutely. The outside is full of psychedelic rock. So, yeah, I guess I just want to see. Like, I guess the asset I would want would be on dealing with Candelaris.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I want to see what possible futures there are relevant to, like, if we let her go, if we stay, like, has she done something that, like, if she leaves, is there still going to be a contamination issue? That kind of thing.
Yeah. What does it look like when you peer into the beyond?
What do you look like?
Yeah.
Your physical self?
I feel like I should just kind of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You sort of leave your body.
Yeah.
Out of body, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And your eyes, are they open or are they
I
closed?
think they are open, but they don't roll back. I just stare off into space.
Yeah. So she's kind of doing this weird thing. Maybe you've seen her do this before. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No.
No.
Because
Yeah, this is the
this was
first
tier 2.
New ability.
first
Yeah.
use of the new ability.
I'll help to stabilize her at one point.
Oh, thank you. Ryan is cool as a cucumber about this shit.
All right. So
Get off this damn ship.
So, Yuri blue ghosts of probabilities start slipping by in rapid succession from you. You see a vision of yourself and Orion like surging out of the room, and you see a vision of you guys hanging tight, and you see a vision of all these different kinds of things happening, and you're like this disconnected blue like ethereal ghost that's wandering through it. So you find your way to Catalaris, right? And you're like wandering through this like dense fog of all these different possible realities that are all happening.
More than half of them are Orion throwing people off. You're like, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one.
Swipe, swipe, swipe.
Swipe left. Swipe left. Swipe left.
Awesome.
Ethereal Ghost Joe is like,
Yeah, totally. Just side-eyeing the hell out of me. Yeah.
And you find that she is in many of the different timelines. She's doing the same task right now. She's going from one room to the next on the ship with the help of her automaton and taking blood samples from people and running them through her automaton. And in the different time streams, sometimes she's taking hold of a person and escorting them back to her quarters, and sometimes she's leaving them. Yeah. Does that seem?
I feel.
I guess you could roll and see how good this information is.
Absolutely.
Seems like. Does it like say that you roll?
No, it's here. I will read its language exactly. So
Yeah, I feel like most of the time you're rolling, but.
Okay, you gain. It's a 2 intellect.
Oh no, you're just gaining an asset. Yeah. But I guess I could have you roll to see what good information you get.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, let's do that, because that's already pretty good. But if you roll really high,
Okay.
if you roll low, then I'll erase things from your memory.
It's not the first time.
Yeah.
Bobbert.
Oh, sorry, Bobbert.
Okay. Is this just intellect? What am I rolling?
Is this an intellect?
Yeah.
11.
11.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the information you get. I'll say a little bit more in that you are able to follow one of the threads where she's dragging someone back to her quarters, and you're finding inside her quarters the equivalent of organs and brains and whatnot in floating in
Like jars of
jars. Yeah.
Gross.
Okay.
Some suspended, what do they call that? Wet specimens.
This was still in one of her visions.
Woof. Was that upside down?
Yeah. Orion punches through the bottle.
Alright. No.
You feel yourself being reeled back.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
So many things.
You saw Orion's anger peak form.
Yeah. More than, what was it? More than 50% of it?
Yeah.
Candelaris will probably come here.
To our quarters.
Yes, but she's coming to everyone's quarters. And taking blood samples usually. I feel disoriented.
Oh, hell no.
Do you have any experience with the Aeon Priest?
I don't believe that I mean, Keith, do I have any experience with the Aeon Priests? Are they ever hang out in Shalamas?
You've kind of seen them in passing, and occasionally they bought information and whatnot from you.
From the Cabal?
From the Cabal, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of thing are you?
Do I have an impression about them?
I really, it was just roleplay fluff. What does Orion have? Orion, who has such firm opinions on so many things.
His main opinion is that he wants to live.
Yeah.
I don't want to put this into your head, but they probably seem to you pretty like high-minded in the way that like sometimes you can look at physicists and be like, what are you guys doing? You
But
know,
the real
like
world.
yeah, you're like, okay, sure, there's like
Your echo chamber of
11 universes
academia.
or whatever. Yeah, but like, what does that even mean? You know, they're like
How do I apply that? How's that relevant?
yeah, they're very, very high-minded about the Numenera and like the study of history and where it all came from, and oftentimes it's kind of like you guys are totally disconnected from like what we're doing right now.
They're full of shit.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think so too. So, do you want to jump her or hide?
This battery is way too heavy for us to like get it off of this ship and get it to shore, right?
Kitty is a physicist, not you, obviously, Kitty.
Oh, way to go, Keith, insulting our viewers.
We have 68 viewers.
It was more
6 viewers.
It was more that I would think that Orion would have a consideration of physicists as being a little bit too off the rails. Yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean it.
So actually, you should be mad at Orion, is what he's saying. You should be mad at
Who
my
is it?
character, not a person at the table.
I agree. Is it big enough for us to hide behind? No, it's like the size of one body. Because we pretended it was a body on a stretcher.
Yeah.
She knows that we're in here. I don't think there's any, like, pretending like we're not in our room when she comes and knocks at the door.
I'm just gonna start phasing through the next room.
Yep.
I have thought about intentionally getting stuck. Like, wouldn't that be, it's like chaining yourself to a gate or a tree or what have you. Just like partially phase into something.
Just be in it.
Yeah. They can't take me away. They'll have to stand around an awkward amount of time for me.
Do you have that
through.
printed out cipher codex thing? Oh, the Catarask has arrived.
Oh. Swiftly removed from play by the GM who raises the stakes.
All right. Well, while you guys think about that, how about you step out and I'm going to introduce Daniel.
You want us to both step out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we should talk about how we want to handle this, because I'm really not sure. But let me bring my beer with me.
Good.
You have to be in character the whole time. No cheating.
This is bullshit.
All right. So, this is the shtick I was thinking for this character. Is that Krala Thakur is of the Gaian people that are these kind of peaceful. You know in your truest self that your people are peaceful, enthusiastic, they're animistic, they worship kind of infinite spirits and whatnot.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But for some reason, the Amber Pope has decreed that you are enemies. And so the whole Steadfast has been waging a war with you guys, but it's been a very strange and slow war that you've kind of learned over the course of time that goodness, right down to the ground. You've learned over the course of time that these different kingdoms don't really want to fight a war.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be spending their money sending armies here. So occasionally there's been skirmishes and whatnot, and for the most part you've just kept your distance. This is beyond the cloud crystal sky fields, is the big barrier between the steadfast and your people's realm.
Okay.
So occasionally people have wandered across it, which is basically just a giant field of like broken glass that has fallen.
Okay.
But one skirmish completely slew your tribe.
Whoa.
And for whatever reason, you were not there, or you escaped. Actually, you were. It was shortly before the tribe was wiped out that the shaman of your tribe was having some kind of vision by a divining pool. And the shaman was very, very old and was, on the verge of death, but he was onto something. And so you were protecting him, and when he came out of his vision, he spoke to you and said that he had traveled into the spirit realms and spoken with himself and had learned of this terrible fate that was going to befall all people, not just the Gaians, but the people of the Steadfast and beyond, that this Emerald Knight would devour everything and destroy everything. But he sent you on this kind of quest, was like, if you can seek out this particular person that has been marked by the spirits, and he describes to you Jophiel. Right? So he's like, and kind of androgynous cat-like features with this wild mane of hair and whatnot, and believed was traveling west along the Tithe River.
Oh man, this is so good.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you for a second?
this?
Because one of the beast connections is like your pet, like your beast particularly despises someone in your group. So I chose Orion, but then I was like, it'd be much better if they also loved somebody in our group, and I chose Jophiel.
Cool.
So this is way too good.
Perfect.
This is perfect.
Perfect. So yeah, you were the shaman. That was kind of shaman's dying words or whatnot, were to send you on this vision quest to find this person, and the place that he was able to find himself in was a tree in the Westwood.
Okay.
Which is west of the kind of the end of the Tithe River. And that this Jophiel would be able to help you get there and into this other place through this tree, right?
Wonderful.
And so you return to your tribe, and they've been wiped out by this skirmish with people from the Steadfast. I'm not sure what the Gaians call. Southlanders are like everybody south of you guys,
Okay, so
and you're human too.
Yeah.
Like you're just kind of a different.
I'm imagining
ethnicity.
like airbenders. This is kind of the scene, kind of like they've been wiped out.
Yeah.
Kind of tribal-ish or monkish or.
Yeah. It's pretty egalitarian, and I recall them wearing like bright, free-flowing colors.
Cool.
And they're really good with animals and spirits and whatnot. So it's not that they're technologically non-advanced. It's just that they view the way that Numenera work differently.
Cool.
So
yeah.
So the way I was thinking of having this character introduced was using some. Well, you can do however you want, but I was thinking of using some kind of animal control to disrupt the pack beasts around this ship.
Okay.
Because this was, for the audience at home, this character was a NPC that I was going to have introduced, but we're getting Daniel to run it as a.
Yes, I'm not Patsy tonight. I am in fact Krala Thakur.
Excellent. And I think you'll be coming with a group of a couple people.
Cool.
Which I could just control, but you can kind of give orders to. Does that all sound cool?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got some abilities that allow me to soothe wild animals. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that introduction sounds pretty neat.
Cool. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm going to go get the group. We're going to take just a second break as everyone transitions back into the room. Audience. All right, we are back.
You don't know.
A knock sounds on your panel. Unless
Yeah, no.
You
we're
guys
not
doing
doing-
anything?
No. We're playing it cool.
you guys are the players, so you can.
Yeah.
Don't let me like.
No, we were waiting.
Rain on your parade.
Time for the knock. Bring it on.
I apologize to my players and to the audience that I'm a bit of a power GM, and I'm like, this will happen, but I roll with punches
I've played
as
with
well.
much worse.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so
There's a knock at the door, and I say, "Go away!"
Yes. Open and strong, coming and swinging, just like we discussed.
the panel opens and the eerie automaton figure with one of its arms is like curled up and the other one is holding up the panel, and is just like staring at you with no eyes and just this like smooth metallic face.
When the lasers happened before, where did they come out of?
Its eyes. I mean, or where the eyes would be.
Okay, does it or doesn't it have eyes?
It doesn't.
It only has eyes
When the
that is
GM decides it does?
Well, no, when it's firing lasers.
Yeah, it's just like a smooth
a smooth
surface,
face
and then there was
then-
just like a
Yeah.
that came out.
Ooh, is it like a visor instead of
But there's no.
points?
Yeah, I think so. But there's no visible change in the
Yeah.
face. It just came out of it. Yeah. It's Numenera, so it's gotta make you feel uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, so the little window cracks open, and I see this thing, and as soon as I see it, I pull my head back. Like, oh, I don't want to be in the line of that thing, right?
Then you hear the voice of Candelaris, and you see her boots tromp up next to the creature, and she's not even like looking at you guys. She's just kind of saying loudly from the hallway. She's like, I need to take a sample of your blood. This will not take any time and will be painless.
Why?
Because you risk harming the entire crew with possible infection. Whether or not you have stepped foot in the Jade Colossus is none of my business, but you have been exposed to nanite disease. That's incredibly dangerous.
Cite your credentials.
She starts just listing off as the high scholar of the Dirk Hall,
This person loves it.
All right,
Yeah.
and now while she's listing her resume.
Oh man.
Piss off. We paid for safe, quiet passage, and you're interrupting it.
I assure you, this need not resort to violence, and you hear like a whirring inside the robot.
Whoa, intimidate. Be intimidate.
Yeah.
Some kind of device is powering it.
I assure you, you don't want to go there. And I'm making an intimidate check. I'm using effort. I'm using 2 tiers of effort, and I'm trained in intimidation and threats of violence. And I rolled a 14, increased 3 steps. Used 3 steps.
Dang. Yep, you succeed. You hear this.
I assure you, you do not want to go there.
You hear the squeak of her boot leather as she backs away. She says, "Well, perhaps this could be handled peacefully."
Just give us a reason, a real reason, not academic fluff.
Because the 2 that you have pointed out, or she doesn't even realize that it's you guys. She's not even really looking, right?
Great,
she's
excellent.
saying the two who were pointed out on the deck of the ship to have spoken with the mouth of exaltation have been infected with a terribly dangerous nanite disease, and by their very speaking, those who were in earshot distance, which could have been anyone aboard the ship, is infected, and it's a highly infectious disease, so it needs to be quarantined.
We ain't leaving our room. We're quarantined.
You don't have to leave your room. I'm simply just going to take a blood sample, run tests.
I'm telling you, we've quarantined ourselves.
What test?
We're not going anywhere. We don't run a risk of spreading anything to anyone else in the crew. We'll stay here until we pull up to the dock.
She says, well, if you decide to leave and set foot on the land, you risk spreading this throughout the land as well.
What tests?
Just a sample of your blood in a few moments' time.
What are you determining from our blood samples?
Whether or not you're infected.
How?
It's using very complicated science. I'm sure you wouldn't understand.
Try me.
She starts talking about, kind of neural pathways and their... Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a.
I don't know science though. Keith doesn't.
Yeah.
She starts explaining that the sound of the mouth of exaltation is extremely powerful, and it activates dormant nanites that exist within everyone, and it triggers ancient war protocol that exist within these nanites that have lain dormant, and so it activates them, and the nanites begin to take over people's brains.
How do we know you're not infected?
Yeah, I understood that pretty well. Oh, shit.
I assure you I've been inoculated against it. I am the leading expert on this infection, and so I know ways to keep myself from being infected.
Why couldn't everyone just be inoculated?
Because it would cost a fortune.
Side-eye at the stone.
Yeah.
The robot's arm, pulls out and has, a little, tiny, scalpel finger.
Hell no. And those you find that are infected?
There we go.
They need to be quarantined.
Just quarantined?
Do you want to roll it? Intimidate to get some...
Do I need to roll again? I can't use the same intimidate? It's the same scene.
I mean, she backed off her aggressive tactics from the previous one.
No, I don't think I'm trying to intimidate her. I'm just asking her.
Yeah, just quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
She says, quarantined and taken into the Amber Monolith for further study.
What
Or into
happens?
the, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a castle, beneath the Amber Monolith you guys haven't seen because the thing's on the horizon.
What happened to the people you blasted on deck?
They were thoroughly infected after a quick scan, and the noticeable antenna which is one of the main signs of a very far gone stage 4, you know, or whatever. Yeah.
Well, we got no antennas here.
Yes, but you might be on stage.
No
1.
antenna, no problem.
Orion would be every nurse's favorite patient in the ER.
I'm just not sure that I can actually. I mean, I would be spending all of my intellect pool to do 2 tiers of effort. I could do 1 and eased, but I'm not certain that I can roll so high again.
If it would make you more comfortable, you could produce your own drop of blood and pass it off to me.
I think the issue is we have no assurance of how you'll use it.
I'm a member of the Order of Truth.
That is precisely what disturbs us.
We are sworn to.
Yeah, I want to get this Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, she recites it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but yeah, they're of this mindset of studying and gathering information is like the utmost importance.
Pursuing theories often leads to madness.
This is no theory. I've seen this spread, and I've seen populations decimated by it.
Orion's just like, hold on, and slams the door closed, pushes out the droid's arm, and I whisper to Joe, maybe we should just give them our blood. If they aren't taking it from us, at least there's that. We know that they aren't infecting us with something. And it'll get them off our back for long enough. Also, if she comes to us saying that we're infected, then either we know we're infected or we fight our way out.
Mind works in the most wonderful ways, Orion.
It's called one track.
Does Orion say that for real?
Probably not.
Okay, I was like, whoa, look at this metacognition from Orion. Impressed. Alright. We open the hatch.
Okay.
We will give you samples. But we will take them ourselves.
The like scalpel finger transforms to like a weird petri dish, like appendage.
I take out my
She says, "I appreciate your leniency or whatnot."
I pull out my dagger and do the prick on the finger.
I take off one of my boots and prick my toe. Gotta keep it weird.
Yep.
Of course.
And put them on the tray.
I don't need that toe anyway.
She
Never
says,
did.
Thank you, Joe.
"I thank you for your cooperation. I'll
Just the whole
return
thing.
with the results shortly."
No, I'm not looking forward to that.
And,
so
and the panel clatters shut, and you hear the whirring of the automaton and the squeak of her boots as they march down the hall.
Well, we bought some time anyway.
What are we going to do with that time?
I look back out the window.
Something's happening outside.
To the porch side? Is that
Jeez,
where we're looking?
yeah.
Okay.
You're seeing the pack beasts, the Anine, seem to be just kind of like fleeing, like they've broken loose from their harnesses, and they're just kind of taking off, and the herders are like all struggling to
Oh jeez.
they're like shouting and whistling and whatnot, and these beasts are just taking
Joe,
off.
something's going on out there.
Okay.
And you see some figures in loose flowing blues and white clothing that are approaching. You guys maybe like riding on? Is your thing big enough to ride on? No. Okay.
No. Probably some traveling animals.
Running,
horses.
alongside the.
Something like horses.
Can we open
Yeah.
the window?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like spaceship glass.
It's the
It's got a hatch. Open it up into space. Yeah. That wouldn't go so well. Man, what's going on out there?
Joe leaves the room. I'm going to the.
You're phasing out of a wall?
Do we have a way to walk in and out?
Yeah, but they told us not to leave the room.
But there's nobody.
We're
Yeah.
kind of supposed to be quarantined.
Yeah, fuck it.
I mean, however you want to do it, you can choose
I'll
to just go
walk
out the door or.
with no intellect points
Yeah.
on the line.
Oh, you have to spend intellect to phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, I'm still impaired
From what?
from using the.
Oh yeah, I think you've healed that.
Okay,
I'll just say
cool.
that you've healed that.
Because that renders my edge useless,
Yeah.
which bites.
No, yeah, you've healed that.
Okay, cool.
All right. There's the same guard that had spoke to you guys earlier is like waiting at the stairs, leading up, but he's half sticking his head out from the hatch, and there's like a bunch of shouting going on that he's like he's really poorly, like he was supposed to be guarding this.
He's not
thing,
watching
but
downstairs,
He's not really
he's
paying
watching
much attention.
upstairs.
Yeah, because he's trying to
Top deck.
figure out what's going on up there, and he's like kind of shouting with the people up there.
Could I try to sidle by? Okay.
Yeah, gonna sneak.
Yeah.
Speed test.
Speed test. It's a 17.
Excellent. And with a minor effect, what kind of minor effect do you want? Also, I'm sorry that you guys should have had assets on rolls with her.
Oh.
I feel
Because
like
if you're-
it worked out. We only made it.
Well, if there's another roll with her, we'll use
Yeah.
it then.
Yeah,
my bad.
if all of our suspicions play out, I would
yeah.
rather use it then. Wow, what do I do with this minor effect?
That was on your stealth move?
Yeah.
You could give him an asset to his stealthing.
Well, I wasn't
you even
necessarily
follow?
going. No, I
Yeah.
think I'm staying with the thing below deck.
Oh, the stone.
The battery.
Yeah. Okay.
Could I?
I'll say that you weren't seen above deck.
That's what I was going to say. Can I initially not be seen as soon as I step out?
Yeah.
We have the boat camera.
Boat cam.
If you want to use that.
Boat cam.
Boat cam.
Boat camera.
Oh, yes. The J-Rock song.
All right, here you are in the front of the boat here. Orion's below deck.
Boat cam.
And here's the horses that are booking it.
Oh, yes.
The Anine.
The Anine, sorry.
Oh, I
They're
like
not
the
horses.
Orion. When I saw the horses, I was like, oh, Misty of Chincoteague. But now I know they're adorable little Anine. Yeah, so I'm going to run to the port side and see what is going on.
Over here. And ducking behind a crate.
Daniel, give me an intellect check. And if this is like perception related, if you're trained in that.
I'm not. I got a 14 though.
Now we're
without ever.
on the surface.
Excellent. So you're riding up with your retinue,
The gang's all here.
and you guys are hooting and hollering, and you've just done some kind of Gaian trick to make the herd scatter, right?
Oh,
And so the pack beasts have all.
I wouldn't be hooting or hollering.
Oh yeah.
Very quiet.
But as you're riding up, you're like scanning the deck of the ship, and you see like these eyes peeking up from the railing of the side of the ship, and this hood and the hair, and it's all like
The hood is still like, wee.
it's all definitely out here. But you recognize immediately, as if connected by fate, by the spirits. You see the glowing light
connected by claws.
that the shaman had said that this figure would be marked by. You're like, that's it, right there.
No.
Alright, so what happened with the herd?
The herd that's pulling the ship. You guys did some kind of Gaian like beast control technique to like make them scatter, and so they've like broken their reins and they've taken off, and all the herders are trying to catch them, and the ship is just kind of like slowing to a halt, and everyone on board the ship are like kind of scrambling to get like crossbows, and the captain is like just trying to figure out what's going on. And
Is one of the beasts potentially near me at all?
yeah, could be.
Yeah, because I want to just laugh, just like a very joyful, and just smack it on the butt and watch it like run off, and then I'm gonna sit down, cross-legged, just.
Does it sound like a tauntaun where it's like?
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Someone had to make that joke.
Come on.
Yep.
Yeah, so just I sit down patiently, knowing that I'm exactly where I ought to be.
You hear the commotion on deck, and these the captain is like, you know, filthy Gaians, always causing trouble. We should have wiped them out in this war. And you hadn't. I feel like it's unlikely that you've encountered them in your travels, but you recognize from stories, and when you hear the name, the Gaians are this. You thought they'd be a race of like totally different people the way they were described, tall and angular and lithe, and you thought they would look utterly different like Vargellans, but they look pretty much like humans. But you know that they are the people that live north of the Cloud Crystal Sky Fields, which are north of the Tithe River, and they are the people that the Amber Pope has declared war on. So the Steadfast has sent various like regions of the Steadfast has sent armies to fight them, but it's always been kind of this half-hearted battle.
Interesting. So my impression as a player is that they are debilitating the barge.
Yeah, the
And
barge is like
I would
like slung to a
assume
crawl because
with
nothing's pulling it anymore.
intent to do us harm. So, like, since I can make
Seems
that
to be what the
leap,
captain thinks too. Yeah.
Okay. So Joe's gonna open fire.
Okay.
So we just.
Let's get grab a couple like bandit miniatures. Maybe find one for yourself too, Daniel.
Up on the like back middle, there's a bunch of bandy looking guys.
We'll change these miniatures to be
I'd say we're probably a ragtag group here.
to be the crew
Okay.
of Gaians.
There's a few.
This guy's got a sack on his back.
Ah.
That sack.
The classic thief miniature there with the big bag of loot that he's just
Oh
stolen.
yes, like
Classic sack.
Snap-on.
And we'll give the mighty great Destrio.
What?
Oh, whatever that nonsense horse that actually he's probably riding on the white horse.
Do you think that the camera's just getting my butt right now?
I
But it
think
looks
so.
great.
Yeah. I could get the close-up cam if you want.
Let's go ahead and do that. Enhance.
And somehow, even though it's
always the
pixelated,
right
it
spot.
just it clears up every time that you enhance, even though that's not how images work.
And it always
not
knows
at all.
exactly where to enhance, even if you're just like giving it like 2 parameters. It's just like you're like 195 by
Right
36,
cheek.
and it's just like, and then it's like clarify, and then it's like perfect. Yeah, computers. Oh,
Sound effects of photo editing.
how they work. Yep, that's exactly what's happening, Kirby. After months of travel, Krala finally finds the one who can save his people, only to be shot at. By
Totally.
Never follow your dreams.
That's the lesson. That's the lesson to take
Good
away.
one.
Yeah. Are you shooting at that?
Well, I didn't feel from the description that I singled out anyone, but
No, you guys made a connection. Like,
Okay.
his eyes, you guys made eye contact.
and I guess I would shoot at the person that just laughed, slapped an animal that was pulling the barge on the ass,
It was-
and then it's like sitting comfortably
It was a
cross-legged.
very like. Okay, so I'll tell you what you really saw, unless you're interpreting it differently, which is
Tell
fine.
me
What I was imagining is that this gentle, older human with flowy robes gently slapped this animal to let it know that it could go. It was not imprisoned any longer. This is
Okay.
from his perspective.
Right.
You can totally
My
perceive
perspective
it
is
however.
absolutely, you stranded my barge and you're about to leave the ship. and
Yes, and now you
I have
see.
sacrificed too much for my loot.
You also haven't seen this character open his eyes yet. They're just always like.
Just like such a happy smile that your eyes are basically closed.
Yes. So yes,
Perfect.
sitting cross-legged, you're welcome to shoot it.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great target.
But good luck.
I'd say it would probably have made sense that you knocked out the herders, or at least the one who like started to resist you guys. You clubbed them or something, or one of your bandits.
Some of the people I'm traveling
Not bandits,
with, maybe.
but yeah, one of your Gaian fellows.
Gaian guy.
Gaian guys.
Oh gosh.
What are you shooting him with?
My bow.
Ooh. Does it sound like a bow and arrow?
Yes. Is there a sound effect gonna happen right now?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is it a thing where like ranged weapons are speed?
Yeah.
Okay. 18.
18.
13. The curse returns from last episode.
It's the gravity well
Dangerous
curse.
Oh, the curse of misidentifying 13s as 18s.
Yeah,
Which we
and
did
are you
twice.
trained or using
I
effort?
am practiced with light and medium weapons. I don't know what that means. So I don't think.
Don't think that means you're trained.
Yeah.
I mean, that means that you don't take a penalty. I
That's
think if
what
you're
it sounds-
practiced, it's
yeah, that sounds
you're
real.
proficient.
Yeah.
In the D&D terms.
Daniel, you then make a
speed defense, which I am very much trained in.
Cool.
And I will be using.
So you're looking at a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm also using
An effort.
2 things of effort.
Dang.
You need to roll 3.
Yeah, I'll do that. I rolled a 1.
Oh!
Do I have any XP?
How much XP do you guys have?
I have 0, but that's my special.
Oh, I probably should have given you some from last week, though. Now.
I have 2 XP right now.
And you haven't bought anything yet, right?
No, not since the level 2 level up. I
Yeah,
think.
we'll say everybody got 2 from last session.
Oh, thank you.
Even me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna use an XP.
Oh, I had such slim odds.
I got a 17.
All right.
Okay.
So, so
It's
it
totally tree next to you.
But you see this, like, I am sitting cross-legged on the ground, and this just so elegant and smooth backwards cartwheel just erupts as I, like, go into a standing position, and I just tilt my head and I sit back down.
Maybe. Okay, yeah, that. I feel like that looks like a fire, and then a what?
And the captain shouts, "I'll have the head of whoever just opened fire on these fools!"
Sorry.
Said that.
Something
Yeah.
about his
And I think Daniel, you would go then. Your crew looks like they've got their own bows, and slings and whatnot that they're ready to.
Yes, so I think I'm going to use one of my pronouncements on Jophiel. If I can do it from this range. I don't actually know how far I am.
Unless it has a restriction. It should be fine.
Friendship. You convince a sentient creature to regard you positively as they would a potential friend. You gain an asset in all future interactions with the creature until you give them a reason no longer to. This is not like a charmed supernatural thing. They are not compelled or controlled in any way. Target affected by this is simply more likely to perceive you as a friend. This isn't enough to keep a hostile foe from attacking, but it can help in a subsequent interaction. It has to do so.
Okay.
So it is an intellect point. And I will roll a 2.
Ooh, really bringing out those big dice tonight, huh?
Shoot.
Why do you have to roll?
Yeah, I think he would have to roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. That's what happened.
Because you'd be doing an opposed roll. Were you using effort or anything?
I wasn't. I would have explained it. I should have, but
Well, Hannah, you can roll and then we'll see. Because this is like an opposed.
Intellect?
Mm-hmm.
15.
What do you say?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, it was just.
Just a very, very calm, happy demeanor.
But your pronouncement. You have to pronounce something.
Oh, I guess so. You're right. It's been so long. I've heard much about you.
Is this a One Piece character? With this laugh?
Well, I've been practicing One Piece laughs all day, so maybe.
So it doesn't. The effect doesn't necessarily take hold on you, but he does seem friendly. I guess he seems like he wants to be your friend, but you're not totally convinced by the.
What's wrong with you?
The captain moves to the side of the ship and is like, "What's the meaning of all this?"
To me.
Yeah.
Oh, we noticed that you had captured all these animals and decided to set them free.
We're not giving you any of our cargo, you bloody Gaians.
Cargo? We care not of your cargo. Please, let these animals go free.
Those animals are my animals that I own, and I want them back. He's like, they are fidgeting with their weirdness going on, and
You own them as much as they own you.
I have had enough philosophy for one day. What with this kook back here saying everyone's infected, and now this?
How do you justify killing all these creatures by stranding us when you freed those creatures? Who are you to judge the value of life?
But you are indeed not stranded.
Indeed, how not?
Just as you are where you are, and I am where I am. And this is exactly where we ought to be. Oh. As his robes.
Character.
At this point, you notice that I have a very large disc on my back, maybe about 3.5 foot wide, and it appears to be a little fuzzy. But otherwise doesn't have a whole lot of possessions. Maybe like a traveling sack. Pretty simple. And I'd say the pack of animals are now maybe close in the distance, all gathered together at some place they think seems safe, maybe?
Yeah.
Does that sound narratively reasonable?
Yeah, they're like grazing, and the herder's trying to get them to like get back together and move, but they're being obviously recalcitrant. Yeah. Well, what is it you want?
I'm here for a purpose.
The Vargellan captain like does a gesture with his head fin.
Is this the same side of the ship that I'm also looking out of? If I'm looking out of the window,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of witnessing this and hearing them yelling and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
The astute viewer will note that they came from the wrong direction, but you guys did that on purpose or something, right?
We would have expected them from the
Yeah. They had more guards posted on the
starboard side.
yeah, looking out to the north. Because they came from the north, so they're expecting Gaian raiders.
Gotcha.
Do I know the person I'm looking for's name, or do I just know them by who they've been described?
Does he know their name? Yes.
Jophiel! Please do come down and speak with me. It has been so very long.
I wish I could.
She is not to come down,
Here I am, stuck on a barge.
speaks Ketalaris. In fact, she's going into quarantine.
Fuck no.
Quarantine. Instead of having a bite to eat with me. Indeed.
She's like,
Choose your path.
guards, seize her! And the captain is like,
Oh man. All right. If I hear this, Orion's storming out of his room and coming up on deck.
the as you pop out of your panel, you see the like robot rounding the automaton rounding the corner, moving towards you. And it's-
Toward me.
Yeah.
Cool
All right.
story. Trained in jumping, about to take her.
Yes.
Are you trained in?
I am trained in jumping.
Right.
Excellent.
Like Section 1. Where are you like? Because you were trying to jump off the elevator but didn't make it, even though you were
You only, yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right, give me a. Are you using effort?
Yes, I am.
How many's?
Twos.
So you're shifting this 3 steps
Oh, but I got
easier.
a 19.
Ooh. Yes.
Jumps with grace.
It is a beautiful leap, and
I was waiting for like a perfect pencil leap.
yeah. What kind of minor effect are you thinking?
My character's so happy about them jumping off that I've got tears rolling down my face.
Oh God!
You land on his horse.
Oh yes, please! I was going to go for like ability to swim to shore and not drown.
No, I think this is
It's pretty close to the shore.
this. So the situation was that there was a chain, right? So you like run along the chain until it starts to dip, and then you
Nice.
Sweet.
leap off of it.
That's rad.
And it, yeah,
Lord of the Rings shit.
epic for reasons.
Like a lost ship.
Yeah, grab a shield, throw it on the stairs.
Yes. Put it down for
reasons.
5.
All right. I have a question, Keith.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, 12.
15.
is this robot considered to be a device?
I think so.
Oh, finally. Let's clarify first
Yes,
before you get
right,
roll, please.
All right. So Orion like reaches for his sword when he sees this thing around the corner, and then instead reaches his hand down into his pouch and pulls out a deactivator. This is was gifted to me by Kitty in a hoodie. So I pull it out and pointed at this robot and just hit the button.
All right, first you got to roll to see the level of it. So roll d6 plus 4.
Okay. Yes. 10.
Excellent.
I rolled max.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
All right, make a intellect. I mean, all these things make attack rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything needs a roll to succeed. So,
I'll use this as step of effort.
all right.
Oh, yes.
That is 13, not an 18. So 13 with a tier of effort
All
and
13s should
whatever
just
the
be
third
18s.
device itself was,
All right.
was doing.
Da, 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 da. Yes, you succeed.
Yes.
So the thing is, like, you're hearing it's whirring, powering up, and you actually see like some weird particles start to like heat up in front of its.
Shit.
The like ambient dust in the air from being underneath the ship starts to burst into flame as you're seeing this thing kind of ignite, and then all of a sudden it just like stops floating altogether, and like its arms unfold in the most awkward way possible, and it just lands skidding onto the ground.
Yeah, and I definitely kick it like a bucket as I pass it. Step up onto the deck, and what do I see when I come up here? I see Joe jumping off.
Yeah, you see her leaping across. Yeah, the chain.
Jesus. The battery! I yell out to Joe.
But Cash is with you, right?
Is Cash with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he's stuck in the data sphere.
Yeah, that's
It
actually
happens.
exactly the thing that I was thinking would be the perfect. Oh my god. Okay, this window on. Oh gosh. Does it seem like I can try to bust out this? I'm gonna pick up this robot, and I'm gonna use might to try to throw the robot out of the window and shatter the window.
Okay.
I don't know if it's. I know it's a spaceship, so maybe it's not realistic, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna use 2 tiers of effort. 2, 3,
This
4.
is getting epic. The Great Escape.
See if I can break this window. All right, I rolled a 9, and it's eased by 2 steps.
Yep.
Yes.
A great crash of weird black.
So this is on your guys'
glass.
side.
This rains out, and the cylindrical shape of that strange robot just
This
goes.
is our window to our cabin.
And you see it bob like a bob at the end of a fishing rod for a second, goes up, and then it just goes. Yeah. Then you just see bubbles like.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, and then probably a moment later you see, if I need to use like might to do it, I will. But you see the crate that this thing is in starting to like push up into the window, and then it's like doing this thing, right?
the battery.
I think I'm pushing the battery off into the water. We can retrieve it from down in the water. I feel like
From the bed of the river.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how else we're gonna manage to get it onto the shore at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like we're jumping ship. So.
Catalaris runs to the side of the deck and screams as she sees her automaton. Yeah, she's like, no! She's clearly was very attached to that thing. And you guys don't really see automaton that are fully functioning. Like that's not a super common thing to see. Like they're occasional, but.
The Wanderer.
The Wanderer, greetings.
All right. Do you want
And Taylor. Thanks for joining, Taylor.
Hey, there he is.
Taylor, you're stuck in the data sphere.
You're upside down.
You're surfing the net.
Do you want me to make a might check to push this thing out of the window?
No.
Or okay, is it? I mean, this thing's really heavy, so I don't know if it's realistic at all that I'm able to get a good push and try to get this thing closer to the shore. Then I would like to make a roll to try to do that.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use effort though, but I'm just going to try to, or maybe time it to a place where it seems like the water's more shallow or something.
I think getting it to the shore would be
Really hard. It's super heavy.
formidable. I
Yeah.
think, which is a 7.
A 7, yeah.
Yeah. Impossible without skills or great effort.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll use a tier of effort because I do have an edge in that.
Nat 20! Boom!
Throws his shoulder into this thing, and it flies out. Wait, where's that box at? Here we go. This crate just flies out of the window and lands right onto the shore.
Are you coming after it though?
Yeah, but I just dive into the water. I'm not trying to be fancy myself. I just fall into the water.
And the whole ship blows up.
Yeah.
Jumping away from the explosion.
And also, I look incredibly calm with this explosion behind me.
So he dives and he's swimming, and this thing is sunk into the shore.
Awesome.
And Catalaris runs up to the edge of she's at the edge of the ship, like shaking the railing, and turns and looks back at the captain, and she's like, "Apprehend them! They are infected!" And he's like, They're off my ship. They're out of my jurisdiction now. And he's like, and besides, I've already been paid. And she's like reprimanding and shouting, and she's like, "You cost me my automaton, and you." And he's like, "I'm not an enemy of the Amber Church." She's like, "I've done all that I can. Like, clearly we're outnumbered, and this is not a good idea. We should negotiate with these." You know, they're like back and forth about that.
I give her the ninth world equivalent of the finger. Whatever that is.
Krala is on his back, crying and laughing.
Get up and steer this beast.
This stone that just landed in the ground near you, you can tell that the spirits are very strong inside it.
Delicious. What a lovely companion you have.
Please help my companion, and we need that.
You say that, and then you see Orion crawling out of the water, and he's like soaked and just got this very serious look on his face. And I'm starting to try to pull this thing up onto the shore so that it's safe.
The herd is finally starting to make its way back. It's a little bit distant, yeah. And the herdsmen, they look confused and like cautiously approaching, but can tell this hasn't come to blows. You know, if the crew on board the ship are not shooting at them, then
Were the herds were they moving the ship?
yeah, they were pulling it.
Can it move without it?
No, it's just a big floating shell, basically.
How many would it take for the herd to move it? And how many did they have?
What was I saying? Like that there were. I think I was saying there were 3 groups of 5 on each side. Was that what I had said?
Sounds good.
It was just the number I made up, but yeah,
How
I think
much?
15 on each side of these pack beasts.
Does it require that, or was that excessive?
It's pretty loaded, so they could probably do. You don't know how much is in it, so that'd be a hard guesstimate.
I offer 3 shins per beast that he gives me.
I feel like they're worth probably 10. I want to say at least.
Yeah, but I'm making
could
a
look that up,
persuasion
but-
roll.
Oh, okay. To the captain.
Yeah. How about letting go of a few of these beasts? I rolled a 12. I'm trained in it as well.
Okay. Got all my crazy index cards here.
3 shins per, and my boys and girls hook your beasts back up for you. The ones that I don't own now.
He says, "Well, you're gonna take
As if I owned them.
you're gonna take the run of the lot. I'll give you 3.
They'll be
For that
stronger
price.
than yours in the week.
And then you'll sell them back to me double price. I'm sure, just like
No.
a Navarine merchant,
I just take my
which he is.
gold. I've only got 9 shins anyway. And I just throw it up to him.
All right, he definitely catches it, sorts through them,
And bites it to check it.
Yeah.
If it's real.
a reminder Shin are like just well, actually the crazy thing is, so he looks at what you've thrown him because they're coins. Your people actually barter in coins, whereas most people in the Steadfast actually have just like weird pieces of ceramic and like crystals and stuff like that. And a typical interaction with shins would go like, you know, here's all my shins, and then the person would sort through them and be like, these are fake, these are not, these are shells I know shells worth, and the crystals I don't know. So there's a lot of like kind of bartering like that. And so he's like, you know, what in the order of truth are these? Coins? Says, well,
Perhaps.
well, I think Gaian coins might be the lucky one on this exchange, because I'm sure I'm sure in the steadfast, these will be worth a fortune for collectors.
May they serve you well, good captain.
It says, "Now be gone with you. Give me my beasts back."
And I tell the crew to round them up.
Your folk.
They also my crew end up like giving them some like nice like hardy like looks like hay, but it's really like a stimulant that's like meant for like strength building in these types of animals.
Yeah, I mean you guys know animals far better than the people of the steadfast, so you look at them and you're like, I know what nutrients they're missing and whatnot. So
yeah, so we give them that and then come back up and cast them friendly gazes and then
within 10 minutes, like that's all happening while you guys are doing whatever, and they're like within 10-15 minutes they start moving again.
I guess I would have hopped off to help Orion with the battery.
Pulling it up. Did like the crate or whatever we have it in survive, or is it just
the crate broke open. I think.
oh hell yeah!
I mean, I did roll a nat 20.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Whatever you say.
I'll say the lid like came open, so you saw it. But
or felt its energy.
The Numenera.
You certainly felt its energy.
Yeah.
You felt the spirits, right?
The Numenera equivalent of packing peanuts fell out of it.
Ghost poop, as I like to call it.
Ghost poop, yeah.
That's awesome. I've always thought of them as Cheetos. I hate Cheetos.
White Cheetos, disgusting. They're styrofoam.
Any Cheetos.
It is 8:40, Keith. I don't know if you want to try to do a break.
We'll do a break in a second. Let's talk for a second, and maybe I can find a moment to be like, let's leave a cliffhanger.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah.
So, you found your person?
And how many of these beasts are in front of us now? Is there only enough for each?
We got 3. A lot of us have our own writing devices, but
so there are spares right now.
I got 2 for y'all, and then 1 for whatever that thing was that you're carrying.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Couch is with you guys too.
Well, I think probably 2 people can ride on.
We probably have an extra one too.
We can ride nuts to butts.
There's mounts for everybody.
Cash and Orion riding nuts to butts on one of these.
But these things that were pulling the ship seem pretty strong.
Yeah.
So that's why
They're strong, but they're kind of slow.
Yeah.
They can run for a long time. And they're herd animals, so they're kind of stupid. But
love it. Cool.
Well, it seems that we owe you.
Is that so?
Are you looking at me? Trying to tell if your eyes are even open.
Yeah. Does anyone know the time?
I look up at the sky.
it's probably like 3 or so. Does that seem about right from what's happened so far? Yeah. Also of note that the days are 28 hours long in this period in time, because our path is a little bit slower in rotation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Does anyone respond to my time question? Does anyone recognize the time?
Oh yeah, I mean I had looked up. Yeah. 3.
It's past Chauncey's bathing time.
Chauncey?
So at this moment, this disc on my back shakes to life. It is like, at a side view, it's almost completely so thin it's almost invisible.
Paper.
But when it's kind of fuzzy a little bit on the outside, it's white, fuzzy, and it's like a disc, but it comes up and it just sort of whirls around my head and it like flies around until it finally comes and rests sort of in front of me. And this thing is an animal.
Oh, this is your pet.
You may know it. It's a pet. It is known as a palom. They're just these kind of slightly fuzzy discs. They travel in groups. They're generally really fit for bloodshed.
How is it a creature that is like next to no thickness?
Yeah, it almost doesn't. It doesn't even have any really defining features.
Yeah, it has no skeleton or no like.
But they're hard. They truly are, and they can fly, which is like unusual. So
It's a flying carpet,
it's
Creature?
It attacks like a disc,
like spinning.
like a saw blade almost.
Okay, like vertical
So
rolling.
wild.
Nice.
So this, I've determined that mine is named Chaucy, and it's a custom in our my tribe. You may not know this as characters, but I thought it was cool. So it is a customed. It is a custom in our tribe, the Gaian society.
Yeah, you guys were a particular tribe. in the
Some
Gaian
of them,
society, yeah.
some of the hunters train these beasts, and then they actually do like fights with them. So whereas like the discs actually they don't attack each other, they try to attack the other controller.
Yeah.
But
Like
we
a weird
are
Pokemon
all
battle.
we train in speed defense. That's why I had that defense, so that we're actually like trying to
Dodging each
dodge
other's
these
attacks.
things, when they go by. So, and it's kind of like that, Avatar thing where you bond with one for life. So,
Cool.
I've been with this one for a long time. It's large. They get up to like 5 feet sometimes. So.
Dang.
This one's like
What a
close.
just bizarre thing, man.
So as it comes
Never
out,
failing to be super bizarre.
Yeah.
as it rests in front of me, I take out my oddity, which is a small jar of black paint that refills every day, and I just dump it on top of this of Chaucy.
Oh, that's giving it a.
And it's this is its bath, and it totally just covers it, and it just
Like a
begins to spin
spirograph.
super fast, and the paint just goes.
It hits everybody in the face.
Orion pulls his cloak and
And then so it just it's completely clean after that, and then goes in back and rests on.
well, that was the cliffhanger I was looking for.
Chelsea's baby time.
All right, with that, let's do a quick break, y'all. 10 minutes. And
Actually, 10 minutes.
We'll find out what the deal is with this new character who's
stand-
What'd y'all think about
And we're back.
Oh, damn it!
What just happened?
I tried to catch a grape in my mouth, and I threw it back too far. I couldn't go back.
Was that on camera?
Yeah, it was right as we went live. I hope I looked really cool.
Yeah. Audience weigh-in. Was Josh really
Actually-
cool with that moment?
Extra dimensional chair and everything.
2 out of 10.
Oh yes, the extra dimensional chair. Patsy, we'll have to find out what's going on with him next week.
Yeah. Someone's getting their face beat in with it. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
That was a joke.
As a summary of what's going on currently for those who've joined, including Void Effigy, thanks for remaining a vigilant fan and all of you wonderful people. All this a shout out to the Siege family for joining
Sage.
us. Sage, I'm sorry.
Sage.
Oh,
That E is sneaky.
it is
Kilometers.
Sage. And all of our lovely viewers.
Awesome.
It was a resounding hella cool, and also a kitty with sunglasses. Sweet emote.
Most cool.
That's cool.
Which is a great opportunity to talk about how excited we are to roll out some material component specific emojis,
Yes. No.
emoticons
No.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
that
No.
that I can't find. Here we go.
No.
For our subs, we've got
Get your sub in.
a bird,
A gravity well.
a gravity well with a bird on it.
Oh my god!
That's incredible.
Oh, we also have a potion
Okay.
from our logo, and we have a owl
Get lit.
with D20s for
my gosh.
eyes because that's the gravity well owl that's
Oh,
perched upon the
So is that,
gravity well.
oh my gosh, it is an option for me.
Indeed, put a bird on it. So if you are a subscriber, I believe the first tier of subscribers get the bird icon. And I would encourage all of you watching, if you've got Twitch, if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch and get 1 free subscribe. So if you're not taking advantage of that, if you're new to Twitch or just haven't figured out who to give that lovely subscribe to, you should do it for us because we're awesome. And when we get to 15 subscribers, we're going to do a second stream a week, and we're going to have the audience vote on what it's going to be.
Yep.
And I've been cooking up ideas, and they're so exciting. It's going to be great.
If you need help figuring out how to link your Twitch account, you can reach out to Google or myself and through Instagram.
Excellent.
It's easy.
It is
Takes
easy,
5 minutes.
but it was a little weird for me the first time I did it. So I was
Was
just
it?
like, it was
And
just because I couldn't tell exactly what I was
you need a link to Daniel's
purchasing
Instagram.
more,
It's right there.
or if I was not.
Yeah.
But inevitably I was not paying more for it.
So, recap of what's going on. The crew is traveling west on the Tithe River. They're pretty close to the Amber Monolith. Here's the journey so far.
Amber Monolith and Shalmas and Charmander are all kind of like right
Yeah,
there.
we're following the yellow line at the moment, kind of a little bit more than halfway through that initial leg of the journey west. So they're near the Amber Monolith. There on the aboard the ship, by the name of the Wayfarer, they encountered a somewhat disturbed Aeon priest by the name of Catalaris, who is an expert in the study of nanite infections, and she witnessed some nanite infection that has spread from the mouth of Exaltation. Took into her own custody the people who were infected with that, to nefarious means that Jophiel witnessed by stepping into the outside.
Yeah, totally. Good move.
Her automaton was disabled by Orion's deactivator, thanks to Kitty in a hoodie.
Kitty.
Then it's thrown out the window.
And then thrown out the window.
That is a game changer. I would have had to fight that thing otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, that was huge.
Yeah,
And it was pretty nasty.
I'm
too.
sure it was.
Yeah, with those
kitty.
I mean, it wouldn't have killed me because
it would have blasted you with some
I never said
lasers.
die.
Yeah, I've never seen And the reason why it was thrown out the window was because a group of Gaians, the people who live beyond the northern, a little bit north of the map. I think it's off. The text is off the map, but north of the Tithe River is kind of no man's land as far as the Steadfast is concerned, and general civilization as the players know it. The Gaians live beyond there, and they have been declared war upon by the Amber Pope. And so people don't typically go north, but a group of Gaians approached the ship and used their powers to get the pack animals that were pulling the ship on the shore to scatter. And then one of them, played by Daniel in a cameo experience as a
Krala Thakur.
Krala Thaku. Reached out with his half-closed lids to Jovial and beckoned her come forth. And so the group decided to abandon ship to the protests of Catalaris. And that's where we're at, in a nutshell. Did I miss anything good?
Can I just? How?
There was an epic leap
Oh.
along the chain of the
It
ship.
was pretty good.
And an epic
It
surge
was
of
not
might.
quite as powerful as
Yeah. I don't know. They were both like.
eating the crate out
I
of
just still wish the ship had just blown up whenever they were both.
Yeah, I was tempted, but I couldn't come up with a good enough reason for it to just blow up.
Yeah.
That's something beyond a nat 20.
Yeah. You'd have to roll again and also get a nat 20.
Defy the odds, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe one more time again, nat 20.
Yeah,
3 in a row.
There was that day that happened to me 4 times in a row on literally the same series of attacks in D&D. And I don't remember. I looked it up and it was like a 1 in 300,000 chance or something.
Dang.
Play enough D&D, then
It
eventually
might
you'll
happen
get
again.
there.
Dang.
It was crazy. The table exploded. We couldn't believe it.
That's when those things happen. That's when you use the owl emoji.
Yeah, the nat 20 owl eyes.
like in your eyes.
Right. So how we're traveling now on what steeds were
Well,
they
are we traveling or are we just still here at the shore?
Oh.
The gulls make it sound like we're here at the shore.
Okay. Here we are at the shore. Excuse me, Sirenscape.
Sirenscape butts in to
Yeah.
tell you your location. Nice impression.
I hear you. Gulls. Probably cybernetic gulls, aren't they?
Oh.
Okay, they're natural. They're good. They're fine.
They're normal gulls, yeah.
The robo gulls.
Some of them have an extra wing.
Okay, we can work with that.
It makes them fly in a circle.
It's on one side.
Looming in the
All
distance
3 young ones.
is the amber monolith is looming in the distance. This huge floating. Looks like a chunk of amber. It seems almost like when the light hits it a certain way, you can see through it, and you can see that there's some kind of machinery working on the inside, and there's a huge ring that's like rotating slowly around it and shifting. And there's a castle that's underneath it that you guys couldn't see before because you were further away. That is known that it's been the amber monolith is where the Amber Pope saw some kind of vision of how to go into somewhere beyond our understanding, and so came back with great wisdom. And so the Amber or the Order of Truth, the church, so to speak, built a fortress underneath it to protect it.
Sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred ground.
So you can see that, and then kind of for several miles around it, there's a field of just almost like cobblestones, but they're just like perfect stones, square stones, right? It's just a field of like bricks almost, yeah.
Were these natural?
Mm-hmm. But it was some prior world that put it there.
Mm-hmm.
So all that is kind of shimmering in the sunlight.
So where is it that we said that we would meet up with the other party members?
The Westwood, you guys are still a ways away.
Just in general, the Westwood, or was there a town there?
It is the It is not on the map,
Okay.
but it is. I had the audience can kind of see. It's to the west of Bodrov.
Okay.
So it's somewhere near the entrance of
Yep.
like the Westwood, near the river.
That river
Yep.
runs into the.
What river is that? The Wye? The Wire?
What?
Rye? W-Y-R.
Weird.
Unpronounceable.
Weird.
Got it.
Your characters have never been. Your characters have never been to the city, but your previous characters in the prologue, which was an ephemeral experience that no longer exists because I didn't record it on accident. But that was the action prologue that that you guys discovered that weird machine.
Yes.
Yep.
And whatnot. That happened at the village. So you guys maybe will see what's going on there.
The same village that we're meeting in.
Yep. The
village.
The village,
Okay.
but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it'll happen.
What's the name of your like race of people?
Gaian.
Gaian.
You guys also don't really know what
Yeah.
Yeah.
this deal is.
So, what are they? What are they writing? The Gaians.
Oh, you want to be?
I think
Riding
we
a
were
weird
writing
animal.
those. There's some. Do you want me to look it up real quick? There are
Particular.
some strange creatures that have like long legs and short, 4 long legs and 2 short arms. They are unusual because this is Numenera, obviously.
Everything's unusual.
Long legs and short arms, so they're T-Rexes.
Well, they've got 4 long legs and 2 short arms.
They're what T-Rexes wish they were.
Exactly. They're short. I cannot find a picture of one. In fact, I don't even know if I found it in the creature section.
It's okay,
Oh,
'cause-
here it is.
Okay, that's well weird. Yeah, that looks like some. Like.
Oh yeah, that's some Return to Oz. What's that? That's some Return to Oz stuff right there.
Or
Yeah.
some no, that's some dark crystal.
Oh wow.
Those,
nice.
remember those weird creatures with the super
Yeah.
long stilt legs?
I wish I did.
Excellent.
I feel like that movie scared
Hey,
me
while
so
you're at
bad
it,
I
flip a couple
watched
pages
it once
earlier
when I was little.
to be Blood
should watch it
Barn.
now.
Blood
magical.
Barn.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
These things are ambling about in the area near you guys, though they do not appear harmful. A pack of and I have it up on the cam already.
Okay, I'll just show you.
They are turkey-sized creatures that look like they are composed entirely of like blood pustules.
Fantastic.
Okay.
And they are
Up here, up top.
This thing?
Yeah.
they are ambling about, grazing.
Gross.
Nice.
I don't like that.
My character loves it. I haven't seen one of those for years. Ooh, how delightful. Don't get too close though.
That's just a horse. That's just a blood horse. All right, so what are you guys talking about?
Can
What are you guys doing?
you help us carry this?
May I ask what it is?
You tell me. You seem to have a way of coming around to things.
It certainly is not of this earth originally.
Certainly.
Thus, I would imagine you would know more of that.
I have no idea what you mean by that comment.
How many shins did he pay for the mounts that he bought from the captain?
Three each, right?
9.
9, yeah. But the captain seemed that he got a good deal off it. Because his shins are different.
I also have some like loose midnight stone.
Yeah, from that weird pipe.
Well, I wanna take a equivalent of like 10 shins worth of midnight stone in a bag and just be like, we'd like to buy your mounts, and kind of shove the bag into your chest.
Indeed, they never truly belong to me. They can go with you if they wish. Keep your midnight stone. Perhaps you shall find, what are those creatures called that eat them?
Dritch?
Perhaps you should find some dritches that might enjoy this feast.
Yeah, I think actually this maybe is late in the game, but I think the closer you get to this midnight stone and then this huge stone, you actually get the sense that it's connected to the Emerald Knight that your shaman leader had kind of prophesied about.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's connected to that in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I reject it, but suggest that you can have the beasts.
So be it. We'll take this one and that one.
Perhaps you shall let us travel with you. It isn't quite safe around here for me and my companions.
Well, we are heading north.
Neither are we.
Where are you headed?
We have reached our destination. Here with you. You are who we seek.
On behalf of whom?
On behalf of me. I am Krala Thakur, one of the last remaining Gaian.
Well, there's a bunch of Gaian, but your tribe.
Yeah, of the what tribe? Of the
I don't know. What do you think your tribe's name?
Why don't you just be Thakur, and Thakur is your tribe's name?
Yeah, the Thakur
there it
tribe.
is. One of the last of the Thakur.
Things I learned from playing druids.
Well done.
Yeah.
The Thakur tribe.
We plan to make for the Westwood.
Then indeed we shall make for the Westwood with you.
That's where
If you shall have us.
That's where the vision was pointing.
Yeah.
As I laugh even harder. Tears.
Damn.
And your men?
People.
Or your people?
Your peeps.
They go where I go. They are a civilized lot, and they shall tend to these beasts very well.
Sounds agreeable.
I want to talk to Joe aside for a second.
The crew that I'm with has already made a small really interesting quick salad out of just the natural stuff that's around here, and it's even
Picking berries and stuff like
Fresh
that.
greens.
doing weird, they've picked up some of the regurgitated food from these blood turkeys that have been made to make the dressing.
Some of the blood pustules that have fallen off of
Yes.
them, and they're
It's like a
squeezing
natural
it as
dressing.
a dressing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mixing with some sugar cubes and whatever to make a
And baby washed spinach.
baby
But
wash.
also the people I travel with are fit. Even I, for my age, older, but fit. You can tell noticeably and we're just travelers. We're just gypsies, really. So it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and hunters and gatherer kind of society.
But they're so healthy because they just understand the land so well.
Out of character, he said that being here south of the river is that they aren't welcome.
Right.
Are we bringing unwanted attention with us if we ride with them?
I mean, Joe was really intrigued that they were offering, or that they were kind of saying, help escort us, since they had the power to shut down the bar. Joe sees the power dynamic in reverse. So they aren't really thinking, they're definitely on a power and numbers mentality.
Yeah, it might be more attention, but it also might be worth it.
And they see, the Gaians seem to know the land, so I would assume they could travel discreetly in natural terrain.
All right, I'll go with your judgment.
So, I don't know if you saw this from below deck, but Philip looked at me. Even though his eyes are shut.
I'm not sure if I follow.
I don't really know what it meant, but I think we would have a hard time getting rid of them.
Do you need me to kick his ass?
The only solution to any problem.
Joe is really tempted by this offer. Save you.
You said he looked at you wrong. I mean, just say the word.
I'll let you know, Orion.
Great. Orion's just
Great.
gonna
Orion.
Waiting for the
Orion's
word.
ready.
Oh wait, what's the word?
Oh man.
All right, yeah. So I think we come back and say that we will ride with you, and that we want to head south immediately.
After our salad, we shall head south. And you look down and there's 2 bowls ready, ready for you, or 3, and we've put one in front of
Yeah,
Cash,
this has the
but
horse
he's sitting there
postural
like-
dressing on it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pass.
I tried it. How is it?
I want to roll for its deliciousness.
The blood barm.
Can I roll for its deliciousness?
Yeah.
How delicious is it?
How well
Is
you
this an
guys-
intellect check?
This is
I think the intellect. Yeah.
yeah.
You got any kind of cooking or anything?
Oh, I rolled a 15.
Nice. Yeah.
That's level 5 meal.
Yeah. This thing is
That sounds
It's
good.
delicious.
fucking awesome.
I feel like level 5 is me on a good day.
Yeah. Right. That's a challenging. Even
Yeah.
trained people often fail at a
Wow.
challenging
Okay, so
task,
I may
yeah.
never have cooked a level 5 meal in my life. Whoa, Joe certainly has not. Yeah, maybe tears of delicious. As someone who has traveled in the wilderness, did not know you could make things taste this good.
And this was just like exactly what we could find in our immediate mile radius.
Yeah, this is like when Chihiro eats rice after some traumatic thing happened and Spirited Away. Just like
Orion just has his arms crossed and he's just like it's too good for him, but then it's the super loud audible stomach growl.
Yeah.
The anime stomach growl.
Yeah.
All right, south we ride.
Yes, indeed.
So you guys are right.
We
the-
we got one of the bigger animals to actually put the block on top of one of the other larger animals. The ones that we
The Anine.
the inane. They could probably carry this thing, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
They're pretty big. They look like they were probably 15, 16 foot tall.
Yeah. Something like that.
Does one of your guys a bard perchance? Do they play some music?
I'm sure that some of us have
Secret
some
tunnel.
music. Oh my gosh!
Secret tunnel.
But then,
Yeah, they can carry a couple. They can carry a couple 100 pounds and people. So yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So note that you guys are right by. You're a little bit east of the Amber Monolith.
Okay.
If you head straight south, you're going to go to Shalamas. If you head
thank you.
southwest, you'd be in Bogra.
I was just generalizing. saying
Oh,
south.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Southwest is really weird.
Yeah, southwest. So you can hit Bodrov and then go straight west. You might meet up with them in Bodrov, or if you go straight west, then you'll be heading to that small village by the Westwood.
Cool. Sounds good.
So Bodrov is somewhat near Shalamas. Do I know anyone there? Because Shalamas is that's my old turf.
You know that that Bobbert is from Bodrov.
That's Bodrov represents.
That's why she was so excited about Bodrov.
Yes. Void effigy. Yes, blood barms. Tasty turkey-sized grape horses.
Great pores.
The perfect description.
Great.
Yes, they just used it for a type of salad dressing. In case you missed that, caught a few of those little blood barm pustules on the ground and mixed it with some sugar and made a delicious salad dressing out of it.
We're also scraping dirt off the bottom of our steeds, also to
Give it some texture.
Some minerals.
Yeah.
Some hoof grime.
hoof grime.
Also, you can roll an intellect task if you want to see if you know anybody in Bodra. If you
Okay.
have any.
Yeah, I can't afford to boost it, but
Not like the level that like a connection skill.
well, hey, I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Dang.
Nice. What kind of a person?
So use the magic.
I mean, helpful. Ultimately, I want to find someone helpful.
Not connected with the cabal.
I would be okay if they were if they were maybe somebody, they were a resource that the cabal would use. I want to find somebody that like helps you smuggle people. Maybe not necessarily. I mean, maybe a smuggler, but like the person that can forge documents. And
Oh, Yarn Four Fingers.
that's the guy.
Oh.
Oh.
Mr. Four Fingers. Come on.
Yeah. Known as Yarn Four Fingers because
Whatever
he
you
has.
do not ask him about his fifth finger.
He actually has 4 fingers on
Or
both
a
hands.
sixth finger. Definitely not a sixth finger.
He actually had 6 fingers, so they cut off 2 on each hand. He only has 4 fingers on each hand because they've cut off the ring fingers on his hand when he was a young boy because he was a thief. He stole jewelry and whatnot. So, yeah. All right, so you guys head southwest, and
We got our wagon journey music happening here.
yes.
Thanks to Sirenscapes, we gotta give them a verbal shout out, right?
Yeah, Sirenscapes, with our paid membership to Sirenscapes, is providing all the music for.
SS for life.
And one of Daniel's people is playing this wonderful bardic music.
Yes, excellent yammer going on in the chat here. Void Effigy told me last week that he's working on a Numenera Ninth World cookbook.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, definitely make sure to use that salad dressing.
You have absolutely free permission to use that.
Yes.
Hoof grime and blood ball pellets as the
Blood
dressing.
pustule dressing.
Yeah.
But it had to be mixed with the grime to make it a little crunchy, but also
Kind of
just right.
hummusy texture.
Yeah,
Yes.
thickens it up.
And then Continuity Drift said Numenera Monty Cook.
Oh!
Monty Cookbook.
The
Yes.
puns are strong.
Yes.
You have 2 Patsy points.
2 Patsy points. That is no small feat. But can you give Patsy points if you're not playing Patsy?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to. I guess so, right?
All right, so you guys camp out for the evening, halfway on your journey from the Amber Monolith to Bodrov. You guys
Camping. I got this sweet campsite set
Fantastic.
and these sweet new minis that I just painted.
All right, just because it's pivotal. Just because it's necessary to witness.
Here, let's get it over here maybe and facing in this direction.
This is just a pride and joy of our terrain master over here, who always works very hard to put together the most exquisite terrain for every session. And I would argue that there's probably not a better stream for terrain on Twitch right now. I would bet.
I mean, there's maybe tonight. There's a couple
in
folks
this
that I know
in this
that
moment
do
in
some-
time.
yeah. All right, chill out, Bard.
Feeling it at this
Got real
campsite.
loud, yeah.
Yeah, one of your companions.
Oh, camping.
Oh yeah, come on.
It's playing
Come on,
the
Sirenscape.
Gaian,
I'm on it.
it's the core national anthem.
Are you guys are you doing anything besides camping?
Doesn't sound like camping enough. I'm going for the forest.
I have come up hither. to sit sweetly on the edge of this rock.
Cross-legged, with your eyes closed.
I've actually sent my my beast, Chaucy, off into the wilderness to enjoy its time while we rest.
This disc beast. What is it called again?
Chaucy is a Palone. Palone.
Palone. What void effigy? What can you make Palone into?
There it is.
You can make him into like a roll up, like a meat roll up.
A dried, like, sort of like fuzzy roll up. Yeah.
And you fill them. You fill them like you roll it up and you fill it with a pate, and then you
It's a
slice
polony
it.
sandwich.
Yeah, but then you slice it so that they're kind of like
They're posh, like hors d'oeuvres.
Meat,
like
meat Swiss rolls.
almost like a sushi or something. Yeah, a meat Swiss roll. Yeah, native. In any case, you guys are camping.
You know.
Coming out though,
Polenta.
it's a struggle.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Are
I
they off
don't-
somewhere?
I just tried to get them in the zone.
Okay. I feel like they're not on their horses.
Who knows?
Their horses
Are they here? Are they hanging
They're
out?
probably
here?
grazing. The horses.
What were those things called?
They seem really trusting of all of their animals. They just let them do whatever.
Yeah, we don't harness them. They can stay if they'd like. A snow loper. These are snow lopers. We'll say they're snow lopers. That's why we're so far north. They can function out here.
Great.
Is Orion having a lie down?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Thank goodness.
Apparently.
Oh, I'm up here.
Oh, you are? Okay, sorry.
Indeed. Yes, I'm sitting quietly.
Do we need to do watches or anything? I feel like Joe would out of habit secure the perimeter.
Or are your men watching for us? Your people.
Yeah, I'd say that the group and even the animals probably spend this time like taking turns. Like we're just all like we're all one group.
All right. In the
It's not
night,
like a difference between us.
as you guys are camping, Jophiel, you feel a disturbance in the fabrics of reality. And you turn and see it's very foggy. The fog is rolling in.
Early morning.
It's evening.
Oh,
Yeah,
later.
in the midst of the night. The moon is in the sky. Like beams of moonlight are shining upon the fog, and you see a tall, looming figure emerge from the fog with the face of a...
Sorry. I thought that would be something else.
with the face of a picture frame.
Oh, God.
The thing is a towering 10 feet tall and tattered robes. And give me seconds, viewers. And so this creature on the screen emerges on the horizon. I think I got a miniature for it.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
I got it.
Okay.
It's unpainted. Sorry, guys. You'll have to use your imagination.
Jeez, George.
It's Phil! Hey, Phil!
Wow.
Make me use my imagination, why don't you?
I know. Horrible.
Oh, what were Robert's
Where's it at,
words?
Keith? Is it like on this side, or is it
Yeah, it
on your
emerged,
side?
it emerged from the trees.
So from back here.
Yeah.
Was it take care of yourself? What were Robert's last words?
Remind us what the last words
I cannot do Joe's voice or
Take care, Joe.
Barbara's voice. Take care, Joe.
Here, I'm gonna adjust this.
And as
I know.
It's like the
as a reminder to the viewers at home who may or may not witnessed the previous interaction with this creature was a little private in the second or third session, I want to say. Back in the Jade Colossus, this creature emerged while everyone was sleeping. I think the third, yeah, and spoke with Jophiel in private. of the philosophy of weeds and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
It was very secretive that time. This time, however, it has just kind of emerged and is lingering at the edge of sight.
I wait for it to approach me.
Make me an intellect defense.
Oh god. It's like using its mental powers to say, come here, come here. It's trying really hard. I got a 12.
A 12.
And I am trained in intellect.
Oh. Well, I need a book, actually.
Which book?
The core rule book was right there.
I'm
Excellent.
specialized in it.
Ooh, in intellect defense?
I am.
You got a 12.
That was the one I picked, and then when I looked at my freebie from level 2, it was intellect defense.
Yes. You succeed.
Dope.
So it's basically what happens is, if you recall last time, you were like standing on a stool or like a crate to try and touch the frame because it wasn't really speaking, and then there was this moment where like as you were about to touch it, reality seemed to restitch itself, and then you were just like 5 feet back with like the same posture. It seems like that kind of thing started to happen, but you're able to like exert your will, and reality just like restitches in a weird way around you, and nothing seems to change. But you got the impression that it was trying to do some kind of like pull towards it, and so like, you know, some of the like random detritus around you, some of the rocks and whatnot, just like reappear like right in front of it, and it says, "You are going the wrong way."
What makes you say that?
We thought we could trust you.
I did as you asked.
You are growing in the wrong direction. We have more need of you.
Was I supposed to divinely intuit it?
That's a good question. It should be known. You accomplished our first task. You blinded the eye. I think you guys are aware that something's happening, but it's this kind of strange conversation that's happening with a figure in the woods. Some hushed conversation happening. I think the.
Are we aware of it?
I don't know. Yeah, give me a roll, guys. Perception.
After it
I
tried...
got a 19.
Nice.
I also
rolled a
knocked down
3.
the
Orion's
character that
dreaming
she's
about
talking
something.
to. So that's just extra points.
Ooh. So with a 19,
Right.
you could get a minor effect. Would you like to not be noticed that you're listening? Would you like...
My character wouldn't be listening.
The other screen, or at least on the side one, so I can see where that's looking.
Would know that something is happening. Would know that Joe feels involved. Would not be listening though, not intruding. I would like. Can I get an advantage or
An asset?
An asset to a roll to determine, like, if there's danger to be sensed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all.
Okay.
Like, should I do that now, or if I guess more of an alerted to danger sort of situation?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You could.
A chance.
We'll do like a bit of turns.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Okay. All right.
Asset to sense danger.
All right. It has asked you, or Joe, what are you? Are you doing anything particular?
It asked me...
Yeah, why you're growing? Why are you growing in the wrong direction? You did what was asked of you, and before there was a second word of the next task, you have gone.
That's reality for you. Things keep moving.
You have no understanding of reality. You are but a weed. Sorry. It's this eerie picture frame that is like kind of a swirling mist, and occasionally within the mist it seems as if a face, but definitely a strange face of some otherworldly creature existing in a different dimension that is controlling this thing, like much like a drone was kind of what had been established before. But yeah.
What's the second task?
That's a good question. Dang it. Dang it. I didn't think this through. Perfect.
Tells you, but the answer will be revealed next week.
We'll find out next week. Yeah.
Let's turn off the channel.
Sorry, please stand by.
More technical difficulties.
There are those in and around the Jade Colossus that oppose our will. We are beginning to question whether you are one of them.
I shut off the eye at great personal risk, not only to myself, but to others.
Just eerie silence with the bugs.
If you want to work with me, this has to go both ways.
A wind drifts through, and the weird cloak billows up, and there's just like nothing underneath it. I think the description I used before was like as if there was just like a suspended coat hanger.
Yes.
And it's just like the wind blows, and the underside of it is nothing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It would be wise of you to return to the Jade Colossus. We cannot guarantee your fate in this world.
I understand. I'll see you there.
Orion has the big like snot bubble. I'm not sure if this is gritty live action or anime. It changes from scene to scene.
Yep, sure does.
Mm-hmm. Or it's totally just like how anime is, where it's really cartoony, and then there's the moments of like Orion being serious, where it just gets super hard boiled and super detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right back and forth.
If you have things for me to do, tell me.
Return to the Jade Colossus. Continue our tasks. Do not go into the Westwood.
Do you know them?
We do not trust them.
Are they working at cross purposes to you?
They have peered into pools that should not have been peered into. They have seen things that should not be seen. Not all eyes can be gouged. But you have done one.
I just made my Tim Curry noise. This is serious. Not all eyes can be gouged.
You're starting to scare me.
It doesn't say anything.
Truly don't give a fuck. What exactly am I doing for you?
You are performing tasks for us.
That managed your usual evasive response style while fitting the definition of exact. I'm impressed.
We have provided you with the growth and vision that you have been afforded, and in return, you are to repay us with small trifling tasks, such as the one that you have performed.
I feel like this is ridiculous, but I'm going to try to sense motive on this thing.
Okay.
And I will use 2 tiers of effort. I got a nice, beautiful 3 to match.
Excellent for it.
To match.
Three's the magic. No.
To match.
Yeah, its motive is just unknown. It's just a
Yeah.
strangeness.
Yeah, it's there's no emotions to read or like,
Yeah,
there's energy maybe, but
honestly, I feel like I'm not even mad. I wouldn't even re-roll this because I feel like it's fun. It's more fun to stretch on the suspense.
Yeah, and those watching at home might recognize that the Philithus is acting a little bit differently than as described in the text, but my own homebrewed spin on it is in the description of the Philithus. One possible theory is that it is a window into another dimension that's being controlled by someone. So I'm using this idea of it being an automaton, of it being a drone or whatnot that's being controlled beyond the dimension. And so those that people have encountered that have been completely enigmatic have been not controlled by anyone, and they're just kind of wandering and weird, and or that the controller has gone crazy or whatnot. But this one actually has a purpose. Yeah. Viata! Thanks for that. I may have to look into that. For the moment, I'm just going with this thing because I'm feeling it. But all right. Yeah. Anything else to give? Are you chiming in?
I was not invited.
Yeah.
So
But you were listening in?
No, I was not listening. Just
Okay.
sensing like a in case I was sensing like if there was danger.
Yeah. You get the impression
It's
that
not
the thing is powerful, but it doesn't seem.
Yeah. It could be dangerous
Aggressive.
if you provoked it or something. But
Yeah, no, I just sitting, relaxing, preparing for my sleep.
I wonder what Bobbert said to me.
Bobbert, what was your last word, Bobbert?
How far I fell off the path of panache. And
I'm pretty sure you were right on the path of panache when you jumped on that chain and
yeah,
that was down.
that was very passionate of you.
Mm-hmm.
do a little Bobbert dance. Joe probably will. Does it leave the Philithus?
It's kind of just lingering there.
Of course it is.
Joe like needs to decompress from this high stress interaction. It's just like
Scoots off.
I'm not going right now.
The Jade Colossus is to the east. And then it slides back into a tree.
Go west. If you go west far enough.
Like it's on a conveyor belt, but it's not.
Just disappears. Okay. Well, now I can take the shameful unpainted miniature off of the
Jeez.
board.
Oh, what a shame.
I like that it's unpainted because I feel like that gives it an extra dimensional denotation.
Weird.
It's defined.
That's very generous
The
of you.
physics.
Not as if it just came off the sprue, but as if it's from
Mighty
another world.
bird. It's too powerful. Yeah.
It's too powerful to be painted.
Joe feels like they were just threatened and they have to walk it off.
By a weird other dimensional being.
They want to love it, but things are getting dicey.
Orion's just asleep, man. He has no idea any of this is
I might
happening.
be doing something.
And I'm okay with that.
I will stressfully, fretfully
Pace
walk
about.
around, fluff the fro.
Bat at some balls of yarn.
I think
Cool. Vidya plays. Viada.
Artifix, Ninth World Bestiary 2. All right, I will look into that. That might have to be added to the mix of things from other dimensions trying to puppeteer.
Okay, I'm gonna use.
Yeah, or you can pick something from it.
Yeah,
Cool.
totally.
I'm gonna use one of my pronouncements.
Thanks, Viada. Is it Viada? Viada? Viada.
Just like the Wire River.
Just like
Wire.
The weir.
The Weir. Sorry.
Excellent.
Gosh.
Okay.
It's weird without the D.
It sounds
Do you
weird.
remember what
Viada.
you
I think Viada was the
Weird.
first one.
like the letter V and then I?
Yeah.
Like a Miata, like a Mazda Miata.
Yeah.
Oh.
Viada.
With a V.
Well, excellent.
Are you
Thanks.
sure it's not Vidalia?
Thanks for joining us and chiming in on the Numeneras.
I just really like onions.
It's certainly a labyrinth and wonderful set of monsters that you can kind of wander through and be like, whoa, that's incredible. And sometimes you're like, that fits perfectly with what I'm doing. And then some of them you're like, what?
No.
I fell in love with the Philithus when I read it, but I
Yes.
disliked the idea of it being completely enigmatic. It basically doesn't make any sense when you have. And I watched the Binding the Light or whatnot stream that Monty Cook ran an encounter with it, and it was just like reciting it just says random things. Like in the description, they're like the moon is full and the roses will bloom in just 437 hours.
Like nowhere, man.
Yeah, and then you're just like, what do you do with any of that? And so eventually they just walked a wide circle around it and continue on their adventure. And it's like, that's really chilling and eerie, but I also like them to be like connected to what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
It'd still be that sort of like husk, I think, but with a little bit of motive.
Art, are you doing something? Daniel?
So I'm gonna use encouragement. Is one of my pronouncements. So encouragement is something that allows me to, while you maintain this ability through ongoing inspiration, orientation, or oration, your allies within a short range modify the difficulty of one task. So I'm just breathing encouragement out into the air.
Yes.
Basically, now that I
Talking
sense
positivity.
Joe feels like stress.
Yeah. Excellent.
After this encounter, so I'm just sort of like breathing heavily and deeply and speaking words out into the just positive things like
Yeah.
the earth is lovely and the animals are wonderful, etc., etc.
Yes. Awesome.
So it technically,
It's
mechanically gives you something on like a plus and an asset to a task, but I'm just doing it narratively
To calm some nerves.
something I do.
When we'll say that as this is happening, the dawn crests, and even though you guys feel a little bit drowsy and not
Wait.
Oh, is there a...
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
the sound of the blood barns.
Yep.
Except it's a little bit more wet. It's just
Yeah.
Yes.
Little gargle.
just a small bit of garble.
Like, dude with.
I got all the animal sounds.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, now we're back on the road.
Yes, Viada, I do have plans for the Nabovians. They are going to come into play, especially because we have a character from Hidden Naresh.
Oh.
Yeah, which we may return to and get into some Nabovian wives and some Nabovian weirdness. Yeah, they're so great. All right, so you guys set off south to Bodrov. You arrive by noon of the next day, and so the sun is east, so it's shining on a huge upside down cone is the word I'm looking for, of a structure, right? Imagine a metallic structure that is a inverted cone, and then atop it is the city of Bodrov.
Lock it down.
Pyramid. I believe it's a cone. but it might be a pyramid.
It's like a funnel.
Yes, and so there are all kinds of strange peeking tunnels and holes, like honeycombed into the sides of this upside down pyramid or cone or whatnot, that are traversed to get to the city, and that is on the horizon.
What were you describing there?
Bodrov.
Oh, okay, that's...
Yeah.
Bodrov is on the horizon. Oh, we're traveling.
And I think that might be a great place to call it for the evening, since we're very close to our
It's about 10.
10 o'clock cutoff time, and Bodrov is also on the route of the other players, so perhaps you guys could meet up conveniently, or perhaps things could go terribly wrong before then. But either way, I have nothing planned for Bodrov because I did not know you guys would cut bars out. But that's totally cool. We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
I think we'll have plenty to do next week. No
Yeah.
worries.
Definitely.
2 Cabalist masks. 1 Patsy.
Patsy, I admitted this to Hannah earlier that Patsy didn't realize what he was gonna feel when he got 2 Cabalist masks.
Ooh.
Gotta catch
So
them
it's
all.
Dangerous.
Ooh. So is Bobber gonna be wearing a Cabalist mask?
No.
Mm-hmm. You're just gonna collect them all?
Why not?
Yes. Well, we'll have to find out. Yeah, next week.
Well, you're gonna pry mine out of my dead fingers. And good
Not
luck with
from
that.
you.
Yeah, next week, if people care to know, it'll be just Bobbert and Patsy, and probably another friend of ours playing an NPC, or maybe one of us at the table if we're here. I don't know yet what we're gonna do, but something similar to tonight, where we've got another NPC coming in, but the party's split, so we're gonna be focusing on them next week.
Yeah, you can see the map here. The yellow highlighted was what we were doing this session, though the direction ended up changing up a little bit. This was kind of the guesstimated route, and so the red outline is going to be Patsy and Bobbert, and also the question mark was whether the Prisma clone is going with the group. We'll have to pose that. We'll have to pose that and see.
I mean, if I can speak for Sophie this afternoon, it sounded like there's not a chance that Prisma Clone is coming with.
Okay.
But she has plans for how she wants to make sure that she's taken care
Yeah,
of.
Bobber, I think, already mentioned that Vision is to set. I think Bobbert said something along the lines of write your own story. So Bobbert's
Set her
plan,
free.
yes, is you're not the Prisma Orion was looking for, but you can be your own Prisma. You
Yeah.
want another name? Okay, fine. You can still be Prisma.
Help her to
Just-
put her on a new clean
Yeah.
path.
Yeah, I mean the princess is in another castle, but you're still a princess and you're still free.
Yes.
So
That's Bobbert's goal.
Yeah, and perhaps most importantly, when the parties reunite,
Shalamos.
yes, yes.
Wow.
We'll see the twist next week.
Another Patsy point given out.
Yes.
If I can even do that.
Yes. Viata is earning record Patsy points this evening.
Come.
Excellent. Well, guys, check us out on all the socials. We've got great images on our Instagram. That was kind of what we started the whole Material Components brand on. So we post every week, not just from this game, but also from our Wednesday game. YouTube, we've started to put up the previous episodes. So if you're like really wanting to catch up and figure out what is going on with this craziness, you can come check that out. We also post a bunch of awesome playlists on our Spotify that are hand curated, which are
What?
great. Yeah, we've got a Spotify with some great playlists.
Give it a follow at the link posted.
Which is also available on our website. And if you want to give any of the particular players in this session a follow, that's me, Keith, Josh's links, Daniel's links, and Hannah is a internet ghost. Yeah, and if you haven't given us a subscription, that would be much appreciated. Use your Twitch, use your Amazon Prime free Twitch subscription that you can use to give us a sub. All the money that we make from subs and bits and all that, we're reinvesting back into the stream. And when we get to 15 subs, we're gonna start our second stream a week, and the audience is gonna vote on what it's gonna be, and it's gonna be awesome because I've got some great ideas I'm kicking around. So yeah,
Can't wait.
thanks all for joining us.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
Any last?
Yeah. Shout out to Ryan from my hometown in Coquille, Oregon, in the middle of nowhere for popping in and saying hey tonight.
Yes.
And calling me out in my car. Awesome.
Yes. And Taylor, who's with us in spirit through the data sphere.
Indeed.
Thanks, Taylor.
Peace.
Taylor, sorry to hear about
Taylor.
your situation, man.
Power to you, Taylor.
With the weaponized memes. And thanks to all of our return lovelies, part of the family. Yeah. Look forward to having you guys next week. Also, we've got a newly launched Discord, which you guys are welcome to join. I think the link was in
Yeah, come on. We've been sharing like pictures of character art and my big Dwarven Forge builds that I do. I take a bunch of pictures of them and post them up there. And yeah, we're just being silly, really. Come have fun with us.
Sphere needs love too.
Get silly. Material components.
Yeah.
Get silly now.
Come get weird with us.
We're in it. We're in it for the long haul, and we want to start streaming all the time and build up a community and send back all the love. So, thanks, guys. Catch y'all next week, same time, same place. Oh my goodness, I was on that map that whole time. I'm
Yes,
so
you were.
sorry, guys.
Yes, you are.
Oh, and thanks for being on that map,
Classic.
y'all.
Classic.